I think the design process is very important to understand what went into the building. The first thing that we start when we do a design process is I had many conversations with Terry and Bill to talk about what are the things that you expect in this building? What are the things you want to achieve with this building? What are the things that you see in your vision for this thing? And then I take all that information and put it back and say, okay, here's what I got from that conversation. These are the things that I gathered from this conversation. And so I usually put together what I call inspiration boards to kind of give those images. In the very center of this is one of my favorite pieces of architecture. It's called Thorn Crown, done by an architect by the name of Faye Jones, and it is in Arkansas. And what I like about this is that it is completely situated in a wooded setting. And when you are in this building, you feel as though you're part of the outside. You still feel that you're a part of nature and part of the woods that it came from. And it does this in very simple architecture. This is all made of wood, but it really feels a part of that. And this is one of my favorite pieces of architecture, and it spoke to me toward what is something that we can achieve with this project. Other images that I talked or showed Terry and Bill were, I definitely wanted to have you see how the building can be part of nature. Inside and outside are important to what's going on, and other elements of not only the woods, but maybe some water features. During this process also, Terry shared with me some of the inspiration or images of things that she liked. And one of the things that stuck with me was the 8-point star, the redemption star. And I wanted to see if there's some way that we can use this, whether it be in plan and floor plan or in elevations or as part of ornamentation or some way we wanted to incorporate that into the design. So I kept that in the back of my mind and wanted to bring that out at some point. The design process happens in multiple layers. And in this particular project, rather than jumping into the design of the buildings, I thought that it was very important to jump into the site plan first. Coming to this site, coming to this facility, isn't just entering into the building. It's actually an event that starts once you exit off of Tuckahoe Road or any busy road and enter into this site. And so what I wanted to do, some of the important features were is to almost tease the person who's coming here for the first time. So you drive through, you're going through a very meandering path. You're going to get glimpses of the structures, but the parking is toward the back of the site so that we can then separate that to pull away from the world that you just came from and get yourself centered into arriving at this new facility, which is going to be dedicated toward being in spirit, doing meditation, searching within yourself, searching outside of yourself to be in that world. And so one of the features I wanted to do is cross over a bridge over an infinity pond. The pond will be shaped in the sign of infinity, and that symbolizes crossing over from the real world into this new meditation world that you're going to exist in for a while. I use these shapes, the 8-point star, as placeholders. At this point, we haven't designed the building at all. It was, we knew what size the building was relative. We knew how big we wanted, how many people we wanted in there, those kind of things. So I knew what size it was. But the building hasn't taken shape yet. We're still doing the site design. Part of the other features that I wanted to include are 7 nodes of contemplation. So not only when you come to the site, you're visiting the indoors, you're also visiting the outdoors, and have some time in good weather to walk the site, pull off the trail a little bit, and have some other outdoor meditation time. I'm going to walk through the floor plan now because when I start the video, I want to kind of let the video speak for itself as you go through the space, but I want to kind of familiarize you with the plan. This is the front door here, and you're walking into what I call the gallery. It's a very tall space that's going to emulate still being in the woods, but it's a man-made woods now. This serves as the meeting space, the pre-meeting space. This also will have a resource center, so there'll be books and videos and things that you can obtain once you're in that space. There's an office in the corner with plenty of windows, large storing area, toilet rooms, of course, as a necessity, utility room, and a warming kitchen. And then toward the rear of the space is the retreat room, which is going to be a multifunction room to deal with group meetings, could be other functions for receptions and those kind of things. Just a colored plan to kind of show you some of the ideas. I did include in the carpet a pattern for a labyrinth also, so that'll be another activity that could happen in the space. And there's a variety of ways in which this can be furnished, hence the reason for a pretty large storage room. So when you need conference type tables for lectures, there would be this type of table. If this was a reception or a party of some sort, then there would be the round tables. I did maintain, I love a good challenge and I love puzzles. And I was able to not only use that 8-point star as a placeholder on the site plan for the chapel, but was actually able to create a space using that shape that becomes the chapel. This is the front door of the chapel. And this space may serve for one person or may serve for 25 or 30 people. So I wanted it to be flexible in the way that it can do that. For larger groups, maybe another training session or a family that wants to come in and meditate together, there's the inner space that kind of focuses in. These are benches that focus in toward the center. If you come by yourself or just with another person and you want to have some quiet time alone, each of these corners serves as your own little seating area. This is a bench that surrounds here. There's movable, flexible furniture that can handle that. And then toward the rear of the space or the utility spaces that we need for toilet rooms and mechanical systems. So here we're coming across the rustic bridge, crossing over the infinity pond. This is the approach to the retreat center. This is the first thing you see when you cross the bridge. Imagine this place filled with tons of people bustling, getting ready for their meetings. Now we're entered into the training session, the retreat room. I wanted both the doorways, the entranceways to both buildings to face one another. This is a short walk across the site to enter into the chapel. The cupola is a very interesting story on this. Part of the original concept was to not only bring in light during the day to shine in the space, but also at night to be a beacon and to shine out. And Terry had some great ideas on how we can accomplish that to make sure that that full concept was lived through this design. So that was my design process with the help of cooperation with Bill and Terry. I thoroughly enjoyed the meetings. It was great dialogue back and forth. It's been an amazing design process. This is all very conceptual, although you can, I think hopefully be able to see that it very much can be a reality. It's been an absolute joy and treat for me to be a part of this and help make this happen. Thank you.